From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are following at this hour. President Trump on Tuesday pressed his fellow Republicans in the U.S. Congress to unite behind a sweeping tax cut bill but apparently failed to convince a handful of holdouts who could still block a package that encompasses much of his domestic agenda. In a closed-door meeting on Capitol Hill, Trump bluntly warned Republicans in the House of Representatives not to press for further changes to the sprawling bill, which would cut taxes and tighten eligibility for the Medicaid health program. He strongly cautioned against further plans to make it more difficult for people to access Medicaid, a program for low-income Americans. "Don't F around with Medicaid," he told them, according to a person in the room who spoke on condition of anonymity. Trump also discouraged Republicans from seeking further carve-outs for state and local tax payments, a niche issue that is especially important for moderate Republicans in high-tax states like California and New York. The bill would extend the 2017 tax cuts that were Trump's signature first legislative achievement and also add tax breaks on income from tips and overtime pay that were part of his populist push on the campaign trail. Nonpartisan analysts say it could add $3 trillion to $5 trillion to the federal government's $36.2 trillion in debt. In other news, tens of thousands of U.S. government workers have chosen to resign rather than endure what many view as a torturous wait for the Trump administration to carry out its threats to fire them, say unions, governance experts, and the employees themselves. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on taking office to dramatically slash the size and cost of government. 4 months later, mass layoffs at the largest agencies have yet to materialize, and courts have slowed the process. Instead, most of the roughly 260,000 civil servants who have left or will leave by the end of September have taken buyouts or other incentives to quit. Some told Reuters they could no longer live with the daily stress of waiting to be fired after multiple warnings from Trump administration officials that they could lose their jobs in the next wave of layoffs. As a result, Trump and tech billionaire Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency have managed to cut nearly 12% of the 2.3 million strong federal civilian workforce, largely through threats of firing, buyouts, and early retirement offers, a Reuters review of agency departures found. Can someone explain then to the families of those killed in Missouri and Kentucky how laying off National Weather Service meteorologists at the start of tornado season was a good idea? Before Donald Trump's Liberation Day, when the president announced new tariffs against almost all trading partners, only 5% of companies had expected their export revenues to decline. In stark contrast to the great optimism before Liberation Day, this year's global survey confirms what we're observing in all markets. Uncertainty and fragmentation will be with us for a long time, said Alan Summersand-Coqui, CEO of Allianz Trade. Globally, export losses of $305 billion are expected in 2025, she added. Germany had been expected to be badly affected by tariffs due to its export-oriented economy. In Germany, 39% of respondents expect a decline in their export revenues following the tariff announcement. German exporters were significantly more concerned about geopolitical risks and protectionism than their counterparts in other countries. That's the news at this hour. Be sure to download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. If you are watching our videos on YouTube, click the subscribe button to keep up with the latest news impacting the LGBTQ+ community in Pennsylvania. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.